Siddharth, fantastic to get you on Real Vision.
Same here. Pretty excited to be here.
India is obviously very close to my heart, being half Indian. I spend a lot of time there. I'm following the story of crypto, and who better to speak to than you? So just firstly, give people a brief introduction of what you do, and then we're going to go back in the past and find out how the hell you got here.
Oh my God. All right. So I'm Siddharth Menon. I'm a co-founder of WazirX and basically handle all the operations at WazirX, COO. And we've been building WazirX since 2018. We've been trying to see how India can adopt to Web3. And basically, WazirX is a portal for people to have access to Web3 application or the entire Web3, DeFi layers, everything around that. So yeah, that's me.
WazirX is the second largest crypto exchange in India. And so you're at the forefront of everything that's happening there. You're seeing the whole thing on the ground, right?
Yes. I mean, we are the biggest right now. Almost 70%, 70 to 80% of the INR volume comes from WazirX right now.
Fantastic. So tell me your story. How did you get here? What did you start doing? And then how did you end up in the crazy world of crypto?
Crypto. Okay. I think, so just before crypto, me and Nishal, we were running another company called as Crowdfire. And Crowdfire was a product to help, any people get famous, or you can say, build a brand on the internet, right? So just making them big. And it started with all the marketing tools that is needed for somebody to go big online, to management and many things around that. And what was happening was this product was actually competing with all the ad products of Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, everyone. And they didn't like us, right? So they didn't like what we were doing, because what we were doing was a more organic way of helping them grow. And this sort of led to this control where we realized, how centralized platform actually sort of squeeze you in and sort of limit you in terms of growth. And we literally hate that. So that's when we realized, we need to build something on a decentralized world. This was 2017, mid 2017, and things were going really, bad at the Crowdfire level, primarily because all these guys were trying to cap our API, not letting us grow. And in 2017 is when we realized, we want to build something more decentralized. Ethereum was just picking up, and we said, hey, what if we can build something where people can create content and have a decentralized network where you can just create content. There's an incentive layer around that. So we started, obviously. The more we dug in, we realized, hey, the basic infrastructure is not there. And the more we got in, we realized, hey, what? Even if you do this, the basic the experience of coming on ramping into crypto is completely broken in India. It's like, hey, what? I think we should probably solve this, because at that time, all the exchanges that were there was not world class, right? They were not actually had. At least I would say, they could have been much better, in terms of what they could offer to all the users there. And we said, hey, let's do this. Let's build an exchange. And I think late 2017 is I started working on an exchange in a silo while we were still having Crowdfire. And I think in March is when we finally rolled out our exchange to the world. And I think after that, it's been a lot of roller coaster ups and downs and crazy moments.
Yeah, startup life is not easy, right?
Not easy at all. Not easy at all.
Particularly in crypto in India. So let's frame India. Why has crypto resonated so much in India? Because a lot of people watching this won't realize some of the restrictions that people have, how things work. So talk through the kind of macro backdrop for why crypto in India.
Yes, I think a very important realization that you have is that India is a very capital controlled economy, where there's a lot of restrictions about how money goes out and come in, and that by itself creates a lot of wall. When you're building, especially a product that is into fintech, which can sort of work with the global market. So this was the biggest challenge in general. And that's one of the reasons that RBI, that is Reserve Bank of India, had issues or still has issues with conscious about how this economy would work out. There was obviously an early fear of that Bitcoin being replacing INR and becoming a currency itself. But obviously, right, like we all understand, Bitcoin cannot be a currency. Bitcoin is a store of value and many things around it. So the whole word cryptocurrency, there was a lot of misinformation about it in 2017, 18. People thought it will do this, people thought it will do that. It's not traceable, but the reality is completely different. And in 2018, because of all this misinformation and many other things, is when RBI actually sort of enforced a blanket ban on cryptos. That is, exchanges, WazirX, or any institution that is dealing in crypto cannot have a bank account. And if you cannot have a bank account, you basically kill the entire market, because there is no way people can on ramp to crypto. If I want to participate in an Ethereum, I want to build something on Ethereum or probably use a product on Ethereum, I cannot do that. Right? It's almost like, back in the days, if I am not given access to internet and you block my internet and I can't do anything on the internet, it's a very similar story, right? Like it's not just the money that is there. There's a lot more that is happening on Web3. And if I don't get access to that, there's no way I'll be able to adopt or participate in this next big thing that's happening. And that was a fight that we were trying to battle out. And we try to do this with information, right? By educating the right information out, trying to tell people, even regulators, about what is what. There is obviously a capital fear, but also there is a good side of things, right? How internet is evolving, we should evolve with that. And especially in India is a country which is very known for its fintech dunya, right? Like a lot of people talk about how easy banking is. We take it for granted, right? But when you go outside, you realize how difficult it is to do banking. So when you stand for such things, right, and there is a revolution that is happening right there, ideally we should be participating in that. So, like I said, so we had like a dark times during 2018 to I think 20, where there was no bank, and there's a story right there. I can talk
how the
about.
hell do you run an exchange with no bank?
Yes, I mean, I think that's a very interesting story, by the way. So this happened. We launched our exchange, WazirX, in March 8th, if I'm not wrong. And just 4 weeks into launching, we worked hard, we did everything. All the teams came together. We were like pumped up about what we are doing, how we are going to impact. We had all the stories, philosophy, everything coming together. And within just 4 weeks, RBI drops this bomb saying, "Hey, no banking service for you guys." And we were like, "Oh my god, what do we do now?" Right? It's almost like, should we just shut down or should we just continue building? What do we do? Right? Like, how do we even continue? Right? It was just like we
How do
were
you pay
almost.
anybody?
Yeah. I mean, we were just frozen. To be very frank, I remember that day when the news came out. Me and Nishal, we got down. We probably finished a packet of cigarettes, trying to figure out what do we do next. What do we do next? And somewhere there, right? I think probably in that few hours of figuring this out, we got this clarity saying, "Hey, you know what? It's worth the fight. Let's do it." And it just resonated between us. Like, let's just do it. We'll see what will happen. And that's how we came back and sort of pumped our team again, saying, "Hey guys, we're gonna do this, right? We're gonna do this, and we'll figure this out how to do this." And that changed the entire attitude, and that's when the battle began, right, for all of us, at least as WazirX team. Uh, so no banking ban. Sorry, no banks, which means you basically kill the on ramp and off ramp for India. People cannot participate in the crypto revolution. That was quite bad, and we didn't want that. So then, what happened is I basically locked myself in a room, trying to figure out what do I do. How do I not use a bank? How do I get people to do this? Use escrow surveys, many things around it. And obviously there were like basic P2P options back then, right? Like you had local bitcoins, how they used to do it. But we realized that's too cumbersome for an somebody to actually build liquidity on top of it, or to even have a retail version of that. But somewhere around that is when we cracked and we innovated world's first P2P auto order matching engine exchange. which basically meant all you do is you just put how much you want to buy, and it just matches with 2 or 3 people, and you just pay that guy, right? Luckily, banking is really good in India, so people could directly send money to other person and get crypto rather than using our exchange.
And you just got rid of the bank.
We just got rid of that bank.
Love it, love it.
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy. It was crazy times, even to tell people, and somehow I could do that. And that is when things started changing, because we were just innovating daily on a basis, trying to figure out how do we make it easy. Even the on ramp, when the banks were there, it used to be like within 5 minutes, right? So we had to beat that. We said, hey, how do we get somebody on ramp within 5 minutes? And when we built this P2P, at the beginning, it used to take 1 hour, 1.5 hours, up and down. I said, hey, no, we need to beat this. We need to beat this. And we, automated certain things, innovated, brought in certain, machine learning and some AI stuff around it, a lot of algorithms there. And we cut that time to almost 10 minutes, right? So imagine you placing an order to buy a crypto, you get matched, you send the money, and the seller says, okay, I got the money. All that happening in 10 minutes. It was just amazing. I just loved building that out and literally, just optimizing it and again. And that went on, by the way. And during this time is when all the other exchanges sort of took a step back. They left India. Nobody wanted to sort of support India. And we were focused on, just building on. And we knew that, someday we'll be able to crack or convince people, because we have even in my entrepreneurial journey back in the days, maybe we can talk about it, how you sort of disbelieve in the future of the internet or the future of technology. And the moment you realize that this is it, this is going to happen, it's just about time, you are just 100% into it, right? And just take all the risk. And we had to literally take a big risk, because we had a team, right? Some of them had loans to pay, some of them have, X, Y, this. Our careers were at stake. But still, we literally believed in it, and I think it's hats off to my team and everybody to actually sort of follow that and make that happen.
Hey, if you like this clip, be sure to check out the full interview and more only on realvision.com/crypto. It's 100% free. Sign up now.